If you haven't used the Unreal Engine before, one of the first things you'll need to do is install a version of the Unreal Engine. You can see at the top here, under the engine versions, I have several different versions. I've got 4.27 all the way up to 5.4 preview. This is just because I work with different clients and do a range of different work where I've needed to keep different projects. Hopefully, you'll often have fewer versions of the Unreal Engine installed. As we can see here, they do take up a fairly hefty size on your system. If you've been playing around between videos and you're not seeing the same layout anymore and you've forgotten how to get here, just remember we need to make sure that we are clicked on the left-hand side on the Unreal Engine tab and then specifically the Library tab at the top of the page there. You won't see this tab if you're in the Library or the Store section on the left. If you don't have any engine versions installed at all, the first thing we need to do is we have this small plus button here. We can click to add a new engine version. It will default to the latest version that you don't have installed. So depending on when you're watching this, you may need to watch out that you don't have something called a preview version. We always try to use the most recent stable version of the Unreal Engine. So at the time of recording, that would be 5.3 that we could see here, would be the ideal version to work with, as the 5.4 version is in preview, meaning that they're still adding and tweaking features, and some of that could be broken. All you need to do is select from the drop down here so we can go all of the way back to the early version of 4.0. But again, ideally, we're going to work with the most recent stable version. When you find the version that you want to work with, we just need to click the install button here. And before going ahead and choosing the location that we want to store this, I'm just going to show you a very quick tip on a way that we can save some space on the system by removing features that you may not need installed. So if we select the options button just here, we have a few things which can be quite useful, especially when you're getting started, just to provide some starting points for your new projects. So I would recommend keeping the templates and feature packs installed. These will be things like the game templates, the first person or third person templates, so we have some mechanics and features to work with straight away. Similar things are provided for the ArcViz, automotive and VP projects as well, so these templates and feature packs can be very useful. The starter content is one that I never use. These have some kind of outdated materials, textures, particles, and sound effects. Quite often these aren't used, so my personal preference is to remove this, but as you're getting started, you may want to keep this ticked, just so you can get that experience of at least what is provided for you. If you're intending to work with just Blueprint to begin with, we can keep the engine source and the editor symbols for debugging unticked. We won't need this until you go a little bit more heavily into the C++ side of things. And then scrolling down, these are the ones which can really help save some space here. Depending on the projects that you have in mind to work with, you can safely untick these and add them again later if your plans for the project change. So for example, I know that I never work on any mobile devices, so we can untick the Android and iOS or iOS to save that sort of 10, 11 gigabytes there. I've also never deployed to Linux, so I can save another 10 gigabytes by removing the Linux option as well. As I mentioned, if you ever do want to come back and add these back in, we can add these at a later date. We can see that we've cut down the required size now by quite a lot. If we hit apply and then press install here, that will be the final steps and you'll have the Unreal Engine installing in the background. I'd recommend going ahead and doing that now. It can take a while, and you can continue with some of the upcoming topics whilst that is processing in the background. I'm going to hit cancel as I don't need that version of the early 5.0 installed. I'm just going to remove this so that we don't have that lingering any longer. And just to very quickly demonstrate what I mean by being able to add in those options that we've currently disabled, if you do decide in the future that you need them back. As an example, I'll go to my 5.32 install here. We can drop this down, find the options setting, and we can see here what I currently have installed for this version of the engine. We'll just scroll down a little bit here, and we can see that I've uninstalled, as I've just mentioned, the Android, Apple, Linux, and tvOS. If I did decide that I needed to package something to the Android platform, we can simply come in here, tick this on, hit apply, and that will install everything that's needed to work with Android into the Unreal Engine. So that's what I mean. It's very simple, and we can save space up front by not installing things that we potentially don't need. We can come back and add those whenever. One final thing is if you're working between versions and you do end up with a bunch of different versions here, you can see we have the option to set the default, the one that I've been using the most at the moment because just most of my projects are in 5.21. We can see is highlighted here with this yellow ring. So that means that if I create any new project, we have the launch option up here. We can see that this will default launch to 5.21. we can drop this down and we can change the default to 5.3, for example. So now whenever I create a new project, it will use this version just here. But if you wanted to launch in a specific version, we can just click the launch button here. And this is how we can either create or find projects created with these different versions. And the final thing I wanted to mention very quickly is just below in the My Project section. If you've worked on a number of projects on a local system, anything that you've worked on locally will appear down here. I've had to filter this out just to show a project that I know is safe to demonstrate. Due to the standard NDA and confidentiality restrictions you get when working with some projects, I can't show some of the names of the things I'm working on. But this is where you would access projects that you've worked on in the past. You would just double click on this and that will open the project for you to begin working with again. So this is what I meant a little bit earlier, that you'll find yourself working in this environment of the Epic Launcher fairly often as a developer, as you can manage everything from your engine versions, your currently in work projects, and the assets and plugins and features that you have for the engine can all be found in this one section.